Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse. And today this video is probably mostly gonna be for the subscribers that watch me every week, because I have this Lenovo X3650 Model 4 that I have put in a graphics card and I'm passing that through. But I tried to do that with 2 CPUs in it and that didn't work. So I took out one CPU and a lot of RAM and then it worked. And I got a lot of good suggestions in the comments of that video on what to try next. And I'm gonna start by swapping out the 2 CPUs and see if it's just one of the CPUs that are bad. There is 2 generations, at least 2 generations of this CPU. It's the E5 2670 version 1, and that one is available. The first one that came out was not able to do the VT-D. That was broken in the CPU. So there was another edition of it that came out called the C2, which could do this, which would make it possible to pass through a graphics card or any other PCI Express card in the server onto a virtual machine. I'm using VMware. Yeah, I'm still using VMware. I get a lot of suggestions every video on why don't I use this and why don't I use that, but I use VMware. You are very welcome to use anything you want, so but right now I'm using VMware. I like that. So we're just gonna go to the computer and see that it actually works very shortly, and then we're gonna power it down and swap the CPU. Just well, before and after thing, right? So let's do that. Okay, here at the computer, this is the M4. Let's just check that. It says up here IBM System 3650 Model 4, check. I have a server on that, and that's my editing server, and it's running server 2016. It has 4 cores, 8 gigs of RAM, and it's running right here. That's the machine, and on the machine over here it has access to this AMD Fire Pro. It's right over here, and that is working perfectly. I have tested this. This is awesome. So let's shut that down. And maybe there are some updates, probably not. Okay, and I'll shut down the server as well. Server is now blinking, which means that it's off. So I can go around the back and remove the cables. I've taken the server out. I have unplugged power back here. They're just laying here. And I have to take the graphics card out to be able to get to the processors. I can put that right there. And there is this plastic thing. There is still power on here. That's for the rate controller. That's battery powered. Battery lives right there. So let's remove the plastic here. Right away it looks like there is 2 CPUs. There is not. I just put the heatsink up on here on the second CPU so that I wouldn't damage this socket down here. So, but we're gonna be removing this one. And I got got a comment in the last video that I should really clean this, and well, I should, but I'm just testing here. It's not as if it's gonna be sitting for a long time, and this is just a few weeks old. Did I do this last week? No, this cooling compound is like 14 days old. So it's not old or anything. But we're gonna take this CPU out with these 2 arms. Do that very carefully. This one works, so I have to remember that one. And open this. I have the other CPU right here. That's the one that we're gonna be testing. to see if that works as well. There is multiple things that can be wrong here, so we have to test one thing at a time. And the first hunch is that it's a bad CPU, and to really just simply test that is to just swap them around. So I'm gonna line up this CPU exactly the same way as this one, and I'm gonna remove this one, put it out of the way, and put this one in instead. There. And we'll put some heating, cooling compound on here to make sure that it doesn't break during our test here. And I'll just clean off this so that I don't get any complaints. Here we are. So we're gonna put that back down. There. The server has 64 gigs of RAM right now, and if this CPU works here, the next plan is to put the other CPU in here and give it a little bit of RAM and start building on that. So, but well, let's put this back together. Server is again powered. It's not powered on, but I have connected the network cables, so we're powering it on now. And we're gonna go check the computer and see how it does. Alright, I have the server up and running again. I have access to the VMware console here, the WebSphere client, and I have the server right there. And we have all the right numbers, we have the right CPU here, and we have the 64 gigabytes of RAM. So when I power this one on, it will either work or it will totally kill the host, the server host here. So well, let's try that, see what happens. And it is booting Windows. And this one just became black. That's kind of okay. Okay, so it wasn't that easy. Probably this works okay. Let's go in here and see that. There. And it still has the graphics card passed through. So apparently it's not the CPU itself that is broken. So kind of ruined that out. So now I kind of want to go and check if I put in one more CPU and just give that an additional 68 gigabytes of RAM, if what that will do for me. Something happened. I just had to grab the camera. I had planned to actually put some power on the camera, but then it purple screened of death, and it was just shutting down this machine. Initializing guest shut down, and it purple screened of death on me. So I do believe that I have a bad CPU. That must be a bad CPU. I'm gonna let it boot, and we're gonna try this again and see if well, so while the server was booting, I just made another little quick video for my Patreon account. So if you are a patron, you will already have known what has happened here. You will not get this video, but you will have seen the result of it. I was doing that while this was booting. I want to replicate this, make sure that this was not just something that happened. Oh, I'm just gonna smash everything. That would be great. The server has booted. It's all yellow and stuff. So let's try and boot this again and see if what happens this time, if it does anything different. It would actually be best if it just crashes. That I just want it to be a bad CPU. That's fine with me. Let's go in here. There. So let's try that one again. That should be able to show us the graphics card. Yeah, it does have the graphics card. Let's try and use the graphics card or something. I just thought it crashed, but it just turned black behind here. So. Okay, so the program has started here, and down here is one of my old videos. So let's just try and scroll through this. This is something about hard drives. Okay, let's try and make this movie and see how it does about that. If it actually has to use the graphics card, will it then die? We'll just put it on the temporary directory, and I'll just make sure that it is rendering using OpenCL. That's fine. That's what I want. Render. Do we wanna? Okay, I've already tested this when I was playing with the program last time, but we'll just overwrite this file. And also we can now see the GPU load actually working there. It is using the GPU and it's not crashing right now. I would have liked it to crash a little bit faster than this. I'll let this run and see if anything happens. Right now it's actually doing a bit too good. It's doing really well. A lot of people want me to use other and faster and newer graphics cards, and this is actually what I want. This is my editing program, and right now we are editing a video that is about 10 minutes long, and it wants about 10 minutes to do that. So it's re-encoding using the GPU, re-encoding 4K video down to HD with all this edit and sound and stuff in real time. And that's what the GPU can do. If I was to do this without the GPU, this thing here, I don't know, it would probably at least take 40 minutes. Right now it's just about 10 minutes. That's real time. Okay, it got a bit slower at the end, or at the middle. It started using more time on the video. I don't know if the graphics card became warm or the CPU became warm or why it did that. The graphics load went down to about 35% at some point, but normally it was about 60 to 70% GPU load. So that wasn't bad at all. I know that this has nothing to do with this video, but I would like to just show how long it takes if there is no GPU rendering. So I'll just go in here and edit my template here and say down here that it's only gonna be using the CPU for this, okay? And we're just gonna press render. And yeah, the file already exists, and we will very fast see that this time will go up to way above. Remember that it took 13 minutes to render this out. I'm guessing that we're gonna be hitting that very soon. We're already at 12 minutes, approximately 14 minutes. And well, let's give it about 10% and see how. Okay, we just hit the 10% mark, and right now it thinks that it needs 13 minutes and 13 seconds, just about 13 minutes and 20 seconds. And it has been running for about 3 minutes 40 seconds right now. So at least 3 times faster with the GPU rendering on. And over here we can see that the GPU load is 0, so it is not using the GPU. Don't have time for that, so let's shut this down and try and reboot the host and see if it fails on me. I want to try that. Shut down. Yes. Shut down. Looks like it did that correctly this time. So let's power it up again. See if Well, I wanted to fail. I want this CPU to be bad. This was me rendering out the film with the GPU. You can see that the different CPUs are there and they're separated. And I guess it's, yeah, it was high, but it was not max. Over here, when we were using the CPU rendering only, it maxed out all the time. I was curious if I could select the different cores inside this CPU to see if I could hit the bad core, because one of these cores are bad, and I think that it's number 9. I think I remember the purple screen of death well, being number 9. I'll check that. Okay, I cheated now. I went in and I told it exactly what CPUs to use, and it purple screened of death right away. I told it to use CPU number 8, 9, 10 and 11. Let's zoom in on this. Maybe someone can see something that I can't. Let's see. It definitely died. It's making a dump and now it's rebooting. Okay. Okay, the host is up and running again, and right here at the WebSphere client I wanted to show you what I was doing. This is the virtual machine, and if I go in here and want to edit the settings, it just pops up and says that everything with a virtual machine this new, you have to use the web editor or the WebSphere web client, which is really irritating. I can do a console with it so that we can see it, because I like that one better. And over here at the web editor, I have right now selected that it has to use CPU 0 to 3, and I think that might be okay. So let's save that and try and power this up. And let's see if that purple screened of death right away. Okay, I did not expect that. I think I want to go and put the other CPU in now. This one is dodgy. I just powered the server off, and here it's giving alerts. It says that PCI Express port number 1 is doing something bad. NMI not doing very well, and the CPU is not doing very well. So yeah, that's not good. Let's swap the CPUs around and see if we get better results. Okay, I have switched the CPUs around and I've cleaned it. Let's clean this off as well. Its head has only been on there an hour. What is you? Okay, and we are just about ready to go again, right? Okay, after swapping the CPU and powering this up again, I can now run this machine again. And that is with it running with the CPUs. Right now it's, let's edit that. Let's just check that. Yeah, here it says that I'm using CPU 0 to 3. And that was where it purple screened of death right away on the other one. I'm pretty sure that that CPU is not very good. And I haven't had any issues with this CPU at all. So I hope it stays that way. Yeah, and it's not the entire CPU that is broken. It's apparently just one core or one hyperthreading core that is teasing me. We did the rendering where it just picked some random cores, and that worked really well. At another time when it was shutting down, it just randomly purple screened of death, which was really odd. So I do believe that I'm gonna conclude that the CPU is bad. Okay, that lasted just about 30 seconds, that conclusion, and then it purple screened of death again. And it has booted, and I went into the IMM adapter to see the log files. I've sorted this so that we only see the critical ones. And today is the 7th of May, and it started by an unrecoverable BOS error has occurred on BOS CPUs. Okay, then it did a software NMI has occurred on system and blah blah blah, and then it failed in slot 1 on system CPU blah blah blah. There is some more here, and it gives me a little bit more, but more or less I'm guessing that that is just the graphics card that it's pointing at, because it's when I pass through the graphics card this is a problem. Then it does another unrecoverable BOS error right there, and it has another, this time it failed in slot all PCIe errors on system blah blah blah. I guess that's probably, oh, there's a little bit more here. An error has been detected by the IIO core logic on BOS 1, the global fatal error state and something register. And then there is another NMI that has occurred, and then last there is another uncorrectable BOS error. So yeah, I did get smarter. It's probably not the CPUs. Well, that was definitely a lot of work that got me exactly nowhere. I know that it's probably not the CPU. The CPUs are okay. Could it be the RAM? I should probably go and try some more RAM. Different kinds of RAM. Put that in. I've already used at least 3 hours on this, so I'm gonna cut the video here and hope that you have a lot of good suggestions for me in the comments on what could be going on here. What is the NMI thing that is teasing me? Right now the server has a big yellow, oh, it's not that big, but it's orange light on with a CPU error. So that's a thing. Well, thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel so that you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.